Chapter 16, Clairvoyance of Kirpa Singh and More Harassment. One of our companions, Brother Kirpa Singh, was suffering from a very serious disease, which could neither be properly diagnosed nor treated. He became so weak and frail that his body was nothing but a shaky and tumbled-down skeleton. His body became so thin and bloodless that all one could see in his fragile body was a breathing skeleton. The doctors gave a number of medicines, but none was helpful in curing him. In this utter physical helplessness, he asked me if there was any remedy. I said, the greatest of all remedies is to acquire divine name. He asked, how can that be attained? I unconsciously said, reflect on the divine presence of Guru Nanak, and went away from there. Kirpa Singh was not afraid of death, and he absolutely had no hope of living long. He started contemplating the divine presence of Guru Nanak and soon acquired deep concentration. He had already lost all physical strength and energy, and now his mental concentration became so deep that he acquired an unbroken stream of consciousness. He acquired clairvoyance and deeper powers of insight over which he did not exercise proper control. It was the 17th day of my fast. I spent my days in prayer expecting to break my fast when God willed it. I was neither worried nor impatient about it.
I did not expect the fast to be broken soon enough. But on the night of 17th day of my fast, I was surprised to see a dream vision at 2 a.m. After I had said my morning prayer and bathed my soul and mind in the nectar of divine name, and after enjoying the bliss and peace of mystic union with the Beloved in a transcendent state, during which my mind was satiated with the joy of inner exaltation, I saw around me a heavenly place full of fruits. Just before the door of my cell, I saw a wish-fulfilling tree, which was loaded with the most delicious fruits like watermelon, ripe and juicy mangoes, and cantaloupes, which I had not seen before. They broke from the tree and rolled on the ground towards me. Sweet and ripe melon.
Suddenly, there was some noise of the clanging of the prison bars, and my door opened. A sentry had just unlocked my door, and he was standing there in broad daylight with his keys and bircha. I went to the water pump to take my bath, when Bhai Kirpa Singh, whose cell was close by, said, "Please come for a while near me. I have to say something very important." We were not allowed to meet each other or even to talk to each other. So when the prison guard moved away from the place, I went to Bhai Kirpa Singh's cell. He had seen a vision of the future and started prophesying a chain of events that were to happen.
Bhai Kirpa Singh said, "Well, Bhai Sahib Ji, from today onwards, you will get 5 papayas daily. In a vision last night, I saw your room full of papayas." "What are papayas?" I asked him. "They are a type of melons," he said. I had heard of this fruit but had never seen or tasted it. His description of it tallied with the fruit which I had seen in my vision. I advised him not to fritter away the little spiritual gift he had received in foreseeing events. He should learn to resist the temptation of misusing these powers and displaying his powers to foresee events. I did not expect that the events he foretold would come true so soon.
After about an hour and a half, the Inspector General Prisons, the medical officer, and the superintendent came to my cell, and after exchanging a few words between themselves, they took my history ticket. About half an hour afterwards, my history ticket was returned to me. The man who brought it handed over to me 3 papayas also. On my history ticket, the medical officer had written 5 papayas on medical grounds for both morning and evening. After reading the medical officer's order, I asked the man who had brought the papayas why he had brought only 3, when on the history ticket there was order for 5 papayas. He said that it would get 2 more in the evening. So I started getting fruit, and the dream vision became a reality. Kirpa Singh's forecast also proved to be quite correct. Thus I broke my fast.
When I tasted the papaya, it was indeed very delicious and tasted like 4 different fruits. For about a month or 2, I lived only on fruit, mostly papayas, and it appears during this period I must have taken heaps of them just as I saw them in my vision.
Then I saw another strange vision. I saw a marble palace. To the outer wall of this white palace were attached rubber taps. I tried to take some water out of the taps. As soon as I touched them, the taps became udders of a cow, and out of them came out milk. I forgot all about this vision as I took it to be a dream vision. Early the next morning, our cell doors had just been opened when Kirpa Singh came running to my cell and said, "Bhai Sahib, you will get a cow which you can milk yourself. It will be a white cow. It will be of good height, and its horns will be bent low. It will have a fine white calf with it. I have seen in my vision that you will get milk of this cow measured in seers, and you may get milk from 1 to 4 seers every day. Just as my forecast about papayas was correct, my forecast about the cow will also turn out to be quite correct."
I reprimanded Kirpa Singh for wasting his spiritual powers in forecasting and warned him, "You think you have become an awliya, a gifted saint. You are not able to maintain a control even over these petty powers. You are frittering them away. You have absolutely no self-control. Be careful. Do not use these powers so freely. If you get involved in them, you will make no spiritual progress. These powers are nothing to those who walk on the path of Sikhism. They are acquired very easily. Those who seek spiritual enlightenment are never interested in these things. If they do so, they are likely to get stuck up in occult achievements, riddhis and siddhis."
Compared to the highest spiritual joy, the joy derived from occult powers is a low type of pleasure. It is an unspiritual joy. I further advised Kirpa Singh not to take these things seriously. He had not even acquired the gift of divine name. He had acquired these occult powers merely by contemplating the presence of Guru Nanak. I warned him, if you keep these powers to yourself, you can march ahead and you will acquire greater spiritual illumination. If you fritter away this little bit of spiritual energy in displaying your occult powers, you will not be able to move a step forward. Go to your cell and spend your time in silent meditation. Go away now.
Kirpa Singh quietly went back to his cell. I started cleaning my bucket and utensils for getting the milk because I knew that this forecast was bound to come true, as did the earlier one. Even a day earlier, I did not have the slightest intimation of the possibility of getting milk. After a few hours, this forecast became a fact. The Deputy Commissioner, the Inspector General, the medical officer, and the superintendent came to my cell. I expected something new to happen. It was the medical officer who spoke first. It appeared that God wished to make him the instrument of His will. Medical officer, Randir Singh's health is going down. Fruit diet is not sufficient to bring him back to normal health. He must be given some solid food. Inspector General, I can't allow him to cook his own food. We can give him milk if you recommend it. Superintendent, but he will not accept the milk which we may offer him from the hospital.
Deputy Commissioner, is there a dairy farm within the prison?
Medical officer, yes, quite a good one. If the Inspector General permits, I can offer him a cow because I am in charge of the dairy farm.
Inspector General, how can he take the whole milk given by a cow? Nor can I offer him the whole milk output of a cow.
Medical officer, I have some cows which give only 2 or 3 seers of milk.
Inspector General, You can give him the cow which gives 2 seers of milk. You can appoint a jemadar to supervise the milking of the cow. He can take him to the dairy farm.
This order was recorded on my history ticket. Soon after this decision was reached, I was taken to the dairy farm. A cow was brought out, and I was asked to milk it. It was actually a white cow with its horns bent downwards. It had a white calf also. Everything was exactly as Kirpa Singh had described it. His clairvoyant vision turned out to be true to the minutest detail. But these powers which he possessed did not last long. For some days he kept himself under restraint under the influence of my repeated reproval. But then he started frittering away his energy and telling everyone about his occult powers. He lost all the acquired powers within a few days and became an empty shell, repenting over the loss ever after that.
Without deserving, one gets nothing, no matter how much a man hankers after it. Those who live in the contemplation of the divine name realize that the occult powers are the well-controlled servants of those who are absorbed in his presence. Rid, Shid, Namai, Ki Dasi. Occult powers follow a spiritually enlightened man like a shadow. To follow it is to follow the shadow of true spirituality. To move away from it is to move towards true enlightenment. This is realized by those enlightened Sikhs who are devoted to contemplation of his presence. A Sikh may use these powers unconsciously for human welfare, but he never uses them for displaying his spiritual achievements. This is a subject quite apart. I will continue my story.
After this long fast, I was able to get a cow which gave about 4 to 5 seers of milk daily. After leaving the milk of one udder for the calf, I sometime got 6 seers of milk daily. I was also given some sago and sugar. I generally prepared some milk pudding and shared it with other brother prisoners. Live as God willeth thee to live. This attitude to the sorrows of prison life ultimately yielded the divine fruit of grace and contentment.
Plight of the runaway prisoners.
As a result of the ill treatment accorded to runaway prisoners, Vadhava Ram and the superintendent were both degraded and shunted out of the place. Although the runaway prisoners were further punished by 2 years' increase in their prison's term, they taught these 2 cruel officers a good lesson. 3 of them have not been arrested so far: Sucha Singh, Teja Singh, and Buddha Singh. 7 others had already been brought to the prison, wounded and badly injured. 8 others surrendered after a month and a half after showing the courage of daredevils.
For days they wandered in the forest without a morsel of food. 2 of them reached Benares. They split themselves into 3 small groups, which added to their difficulties. Had they moved together, no one would have dared to face them. The police announced by the beat of the drum that they were dacoits, and thousands of people were sent after them to capture them. Armed with lathis, daggers, swords, spears, thousands of people surrounded these 3 unarmed, naked, starving Sikhs: Ganda Singh Nihang of Kapad Kadi, Inder Singh of Sheikh Dalat, and Arjun Singh of Jagran. And yet they did not surrender without giving a tough fight to the police and the crowd. The other group of 3, namely Bhai Dal Singh of Dudliya, Bhai Gujar Singh Bakha, and Bhai Saijan Singh Narangwal, were similarly surrounded by a large armed police force and an angry crowd who was told that they were dacoits. They snatched the arms and the lathis from the policemen and fought for hours, beating everyone who came near them to pulp. The whole of Bihar and UP resounded with the stories of courage of these 6 Sikhs. At last, an armed crowd of thousands closed upon them and overpowered these brave patriots, who had not taken a morsel of food for weeks, by sheer force of number.
The adventures of these runaway prisoners form a thrilling tale. Bareheaded and without even a shirt, the only thing they had were 2 staves picked up from the cremation ground. They crossed the San River, even though half of them did not know how to swim. Even the Inquiry Commission was surprised at this feat. When once surrounded by hundreds of villagers, they broke their way through them with only 2 large sticks and made good their escape into the forests. When they were extremely thirsty, they prayed for water. Immediately after the prayer, they heard frogs croaking at a distance and found some water at the place. When others slept, one of them kept guard at night. A wild bear once came near them, and finding one sick, he came with a companion bear to fight him. When the bear returned, 2 sicks were awake. The bear went away, and now 4 of them came. Finding 4 sicks awake, then 8 of them came. Finding 8 sicks were ready to fight them, they went away and never came back.
They fought with fiery determination. After receiving many sword cuts, wounds from indiscriminate lathi charges, bleeding from head to foot, they fell unconscious on the ground. The valor and courage Bhai Gujar Singh showed at this moment cannot be expressed in words. Daggers and sword had caused deep injuries on the whole of his body, and yet he fought till he became unconscious. Even while these Sikhs were lying unconscious and half dead on the ground, no one came near them for fear that they might get up suddenly and kill the first man they got hold of. They were brought in this precarious condition to the prison, and to everyone's surprise, their wounds healed soon enough. Bhai Nath Singh Doon and Hari Singh of Kakard were arrested at Benares and brought to the prison.
A judicial inquiry was held, and all the runaway prisoners were convicted of breaking the jail. Although all the runaway prisoners were punished by the extension of their term of imprisonment by 2 years, Vadvaram's treatment of the prisoners was condemned by the judges, and he was downgraded and severely censured. The Inspector General Bhava Jivan Singh was also censured. The government took a serious note of his inability to handle the prisoners properly, by which he felt extremely humiliated. He avenged this humiliation by not giving either freedom or reduction of prison terms, which was sanctioned by the government for all political prisoners.
Almost all political prisoners were released, but the Inspector General did not recommend the release of runaway prisoners. He even did not recommend my release, and he still accused me of having incited the prisoners to escape. I learnt later that he repented over this hasty action, which harmed me considerably when his temper cooled down.
He expressed his regret later on that he had unjustly harmed an innocent and saintly person, but what was done was done. I had to suffer imprisonment for another 10 or 11 years. None of the 18 runaway prisoners was released. Out of the rest, 19 were released. I accepted this as the will of God. The Deputy Commissioner and the Inspector General admitted that it was this report of Bhava Jivan Singh which prevented my release at that time.
Whatever is thy will, it taketh place. Wherever thou keepest me, there I shall stand and wait.
What is the use of blaming anyone? The will of God could not be altered. My faith and outlook was, wherever thou keepest me, Lord, that place is heaven. I had no craving whatsoever to seek or beg liberty. Even in the face of untold sufferings I had undergone, my mind and soul remained poised in perfect peace and ineffable joy. In the communion of the Holy Spirit, my soul fed on the light of His presence like a bird able to get fare in all climes and all lands. Thus my mind and soul were always absorbed in illuminating optimism, Chardi Kala. I was so deeply absorbed in this perennial joy that my thoughts scarcely went to anything else. As long as these 19 political prisoners who were now released were with us, there was a spiritual atmosphere of the holy satsang. Bhai Attar Singh, who could recite over 50 compositions of Guru Granth Sahib and Dasam Granth, kept the divine songs ringing in the ears of the prisoners all the day round.
Everyone was eager to recite some or the other compositions, and we felt ambrosia reigning all day in the prison. The following is the list of the political prisoners who joined the recitation of the major compositions of Sikh scriptures like Guru Granth Sahib, Dasam Granth, Vars of Bhai Gurdas, and works of Bhai Nand Lai. Besides the number of major compositions which they had memorized, given below in bracket against each name, they had memorized hundreds of slokas.
Bhai Attar Singh could recite the following prayers: Japji with Sabad Hazare, Jap with Sabad Hazare Patsahi 10, 20 Suayas, 33 Suayas Part 10, Asa Diwar, Anand Sahib, Sukhmani, Bavan Akhari, Siddh Gosht, Onkar, Baramaha Maj, Baramaha Tukhar, Jasiri Diwar, Var Maru Dhakne, Din Rain, Gunvanti, Birhai, Karhale, Suay Bhattande, Sukhmana Sahib, Akal Ustad, Sri Kalji Ki Ustad, Rehras, Kirtan Sohila, Slokas, and Phunre, 3 Vars of Bhai Gurdas, and many Kabit Suayas. Bhai Attar Singh is still living, leading a quiet life of meditation and prayer at Jodhpur. Translator.
Those who could not recite the prayers from memory read them from small prayer books, gutkas. Not a minute was wasted. Everyone took his turn. The minds and memories of our companions were overflowing with single-minded devotion to worship and prayers. Each recited with a distinct passionate devotion and melodious tune. One surpassed the other in musical intonation of recitations. As soon as one completed a composition, another took up the next. Whomever I asked to memorize a particular composition, he did so in a matter of days. Some of them had such sharp powers of memorizing that they memorized quite long and difficult prayers like Sukhmani and Akalustat within a few days. The moment they memorized any composition, they were eager to recite it to me.
Soon after the World War I was over, the following prisoners were released in March 1920: Bhai Attar Singh, Bhai Udham Singh, Bhai Suja Singh, Bhai Harman Singh Russellpuri, Bhai Hari Singh.
Chotian Bhai Ganda Singh, Bhai Narayan Singh, Pandit Yapare Lai, Bhai Boog Singh, Bhai Battan Singh, Bhai Budh Singh, Bhai Mastan Singh, Bhai Mangal Singh, Bhai Munsha Singh Dukhi, Bhai Labh Singh, Lala Lai Chand, and Bhai Vasakha Singh. Bhai Kehar Singh died just before being released. Those set free also included 3 runaway prisoners. 23 of us were left behind, out of which all except the following 8 were absconders that had been either captured or had surrendered: Bhai Kirpa Singh, Bhai Karam Singh, Bhai Harnam Singh Gujarwal, Bhai Kartar Singh, Bhai Baghel Singh, Bhai Balwant Singh, and Bhai Maharaj Singh. I was not released because I was incorrectly dubbed as ringleader of the runaway prisoners. Others had been sentenced to death first, and then this sentence was changed to life imprisonment. They were all considered dangerous revolutionaries, so they were not released. Some of them were considered dangerous political dacoits.
Most of my friends like Bhai Attar Singh, who recited Gurbani all day long, were released. A few devoted and divine souls like Bhai Kartar Singh Canadian were left behind. Bhai Kartar Singh was with me wherever I was sent up to the time of my release. It was so ordained by God that we were never separated from each other. We were both transferred from one prison to another together. Association with him was instrumental in forming small groups of satsang, or holy congregation.
Real friends are those who even accompany a parting soul and stand as friends and saviors even when one renders account for his deeds. Slates cause trouble. So many things happened during the Hazaribagh prison life that it is difficult to pen them all. I will briefly narrate a few important events. Towards the end of the year 1919, before our companions were released, I was once more a victim of serious injustice. When Vadava Ram was downgraded and went away from there, he was replaced by a white man, a British officer from the army, who was as fat and stout as he was a dolt and a blockhead. He was extremely suspicious and credulous. One day I had just come to my cell after milking the cow when I found a slate with some message from Bhai Dal Singh in my cell. When I read the message, I found that he had asked some serious theological questions. He had also asked some interpretation of a few slokas of Kabir. I wrote answers to all the queries and sent them to Dal Singh. The man who carried these slates, duly permitted by the authorities from one prisoner to another, had hardly gone a few steps from my cell when a newly appointed warder, who was also an Englishman, came on his usual round and took the slate. This Englishman was a very mischievous and obstinate person. He took the slate to the jailer, who was also a white man, and reported to him that immediately after coming from the dairy farm, I was sending a message written on the slate to my co-prisoners. Without making an inquiry as to what was written on the slate, he recorded the report and sent it to the superintendent to take immediate action against me. I could not in the least imagine that such an ugly turn could be given to a simple thing like that, and a completely false story constructed about it. He recorded it on the history ticket that I procured some messages from outsiders to my co-prisoners inside when I went to milk the cow in the dairy farm. On reading this report, the superintendent started burning with rage. He at once wrote a severe punishment of keeping me standing fettered hand and foot on my history ticket, and then came to me within about 5 minutes and addressed me thus in English.
Superintendent, what is the matter, Randir Singh?
Aye, and what may I ask is the use of asking this question when you have already written an undue punishment on my history ticket? Superintendent, who says so? Aye, my history ticket speaks for itself. Superintendent, the history ticket is not with you, nor has it been shown to you. Aye, even while the history ticket is with you, I can come to know about its contents. This is the gift of the Satguru to us, his Sikhs. Superintendent, addressing the cell-in-charge clerk, it appears you showed him the contents of the history ticket. Do you think he is a seer who can have a premonition of all these things? Jailer Mr. Meek, no, sir. Ever since you wrote the order on his history ticket, it has been in my custody. My assistant has not even seen it. Superintendent, then you are to be blamed. You must have shown it to him. Jailer Mr. Meek, well, sir, as soon as you wrote the order, I came here following you. On the way to this place, I brought my assistant with me. The history ticket has been in my hand ever since then. My clerk also has been with me since then. We did not meet Randir Singh at all.
Superintendent, then, Randir Singh, you came to know these things in some supernatural way.
I do not know what you mean by supernatural powers, but it is clear from your discussion that you have ordered punishment without making any inquiry. Superintendent, who says I have not made any inquiry? The order was written after full investigation. I. What type of investigation it was which was completed within 5 minutes? Superintendent, getting all the more angry. How dare you to raise objection against my inquiry and investigation?
I. Well then, go ahead and execute the order of punishment. Why do you ask me what the matter is? Go ahead with your tyrannical orders.
Well, I do not believe in tyrannizing anyone. I am not a tyrant. If I want to tyrannize over anyone, why should I ask what has happened? I am asking you because I want to do justice.
If you wish to ask me what has happened, you must first cancel the punishment. If you have not made even preliminary inquiry, then wherefore the punishment? If you insist on giving punishment and have already recorded it, then wherefore the inquiry? Superintendent, put out of countenance, well, if you are innocent, I will cancel the punishment. Otherwise, it will remain as it is. But I have never heard of such a thing that an inquiry should be made after recording the punishment. Superintendent, well, such a thing will not happen. You will get justice.
Well then, tell me what are the allegations against me? What is the report of charges against me? Superintendent, it has been reported against you that you carry on illegal correspondence with your co-prisoners.
What proof have you to that effect?
Superintendent, this slate is an irrevocable evidence of this charge against you.
Everyone has been given slates for reading and writing. They were given by you. Superintendent, but they were not given for illegal correspondence.
I have read what is written on it. Superintendent, the jailer has reported that you go to the dairy farm and after getting some news from outsiders, you report them on these slates to your companions.
When I go to the dairy farm, a sepoy and a jemadar accompany me. They never leave me alone for a moment. Their only duty is to watch my movements. Have you asked them how I was able to get news from outside? In the dairy farm, I meet no other person except one cowboy. This cowboy is a completely ignoramus person. He is illiterate and is not allowed to go outside the prison. Your prison guards are always close to me. May I know which is the secret news agency in the dairy farm which brings me this news? Do I receive the news from outside through some wireless set in the dairy farm?
The superintendent looked at the jailer in questioning silence. He had no answer to what I said, and expected one from the jailer.
Jailer, sir, it is quite possible that this jemadar and the sepoy who are on guard get him some news from outside.
What a fine answer. If this sepoy and jemadar bring some news from outside, can they not give it to me in my cell? Why should they give me reports from outside when I go to the dairy farm? They are here day and night as prison guards. They can get a better opportunity here than in any other place. Well, if you do not trust your own staff, why do you censure my going to the dairy farm? You are not able to prove any of your charges. You cannot even tell what is written on the slate.
Superintendent, do you think the jailer has reported without knowing what is written on the slate? Does the jailer know Punjabi language in Gurmukhi script? Has he got it read by someone? If he has done so, bring the man who has read it here before me, and the truth will be revealed.
Superintendent, you are talking as if you have acted as a magistrate.
Jailer? Quite so, sir. He was a tehsildar in a state. Then he turned a revolutionary and became a traitor to the British government.
It is no use bringing in irrelevant things. It is no use talking about happenings which are unrelated to the case.
The jailer should tell who read the slate for him. I can say with considerable certainty that no one has so far got this slate read. If an attempt was made, the man who tried to decipher it has not been able to read it. If someone has read it, then this false allegation has been brought against me with some evil intentions. In the whole staff, only 2 people know Punjabi language, the Inspector General and Kirpa Singh, head warder. The Inspector General is far away at present, so will you please ask the head warder, Kirpa Singh, whether he was asked to read it?
Superintendent, addressing the chief head warder. Have you read what is written on the slate?
Chief Head Warder. No, sir. No one asked me to read it.
I. If this man has not read it, did the jailer come to know about the contents of the writing through supernatural powers? Everyone burst into laughter.
Superintendent, Kirpa Singh, read and explain what is written on the slate.
Kirpa Singh read it and explained that there was some theological interpretation of Gurbani. Some slokas of Kabir had been explained, and religious doctrines had been discussed. The jailer said something in whispers to the superintendent, which I at once understood and said, "It is no use talking in whispers. Say what you have to say plainly. First, you brought a false allegation against me, and now you are suspecting the head warder and accusing him of giving you wrong information because he is a Sikh. Being my co-religionist, he cannot say anything harmful about me. And now you do not trust the chief head warder. Send the slate to the Inspector General Prisons. Then you must accept what he decides on the whole matter." Both the superintendent and the jailer felt ashamed of what had been done, so they tried to sidetrack the issue.
Jailer, addressing me. Can you tell me which sepoy brought this slate to you?
I. The question is quite irrelevant. You have given these slates to us so that those who wish to learn anything may do so with the help of these slates. Those who do not understand Gurbani, hymns of the Guru, ask others to explain them on these slates. Whichever sepoy is on duty, he carries these slates from one cell to another. This freedom to exchange ideas through the slates has been given by a special order of the prison authorities.
Superintendent, I am going to take away all the slates.
What a big fief you are going to confiscate. I am not sorry to lose the slate. I am sorry that you have completely lost your sense of justice. In the name of law and order, you are taking away the slates and going against the orders of your superiors. The stigma of your injustice will definitely come on record someday. Your sham and shallow justice will be exposed.
On hearing such strong words from me, the superintendent and the jailer felt a little ashamed. With his head lowered, the superintendent looked at the history ticket which was in his hands and canceled the punishment which he had ordered. He did not write any other punishment on it. All the slates were taken away. He handed over the history ticket to the jailer and went away. The jailer ranted and raved and made a frantic effort to give me some other punishment, and he did not rest till he had glutted his evil passion by doing so. I do not know whether he took permission of the superintendent or not, but under his own signature he wrote an order on my history ticket stating, "Randir Singh cannot in future go to the dairy farm and milk the cow. As the cow cannot be brought into the prison compound, he would be given milk from the hospital." In the evening, a man brought some milk from the hospital, some sugar, and a little sago. I kept the sugar and the sago and sent the milk away. I was given a lighted stove. I boiled the sago in water and mixed some sugar in it. After taking this preparation, I rested contented and happy in my cell. Early next morning, the superintendent again came there with his whole staff and started fretting and fuming about my refusal to take the milk.
A hot discussion took place as follows.
Superintendent: Well, Randir Singh, there are 2 more reports against you today. Firstly, you have disobeyed the orders and returned the food sent to you. Secondly, you are trying to commit suicide by going on hunger strike.
Aye, both the reports are not only incorrect, but utterly false and are baseless allegations. I have not disobeyed any orders, nor have I tried to commit suicide. We Sikhs consider committing suicide a great sin. One who commits suicide is the greatest sinner, says our Guru. So how can you expect me to commit suicide?
Superintendent, then why did you send the milk back?
I ask the jailer, Mr. Meek. He knows fully well, and so do all the high officials, including IG Prisons, DC, and the medical officer, that I have taken a religious vow to take food by discrimination, or that prepared by a Sikh who leads a Sikh-like life. I was therefore specially allowed to milk a cow and prepare my own food. The subject has been discussed over and over again, and the prison authorities have taken final decisions on it. You have now started the old story again, only to tyrannize over me. What more baseless charges can there be than to dub my simple effort to maintain a religious vow as an attempt to commit suicide?
Superintendent, you should not have refused the milk and sent it back. It amounts to disobedience of the orders of the jail authorities and also creates a suspicion in our mind that you were trying to commit suicide. My refusal to accept milk neither amounts to disobedience, nor does it create any suspicion of my desire to commit suicide. If I wanted to commit suicide or to completely disobey the orders, then why did I accept other things like sugar and sago? I would have returned those things also. As the use of dry ration did not interfere with my religious sentiments, I accepted them and made a preparation out of them and ate it. I returned the milk because my religious sentiments, based on my personal vow of viveka, taking food on discrimination, did not allow me to take the food. So when I was not going to drink that milk, what was the use of keeping it? I returned it. Had I kept it, it might have been spoiled and wasted by now.
Superintendent, in a milder tone. So you did not return all the things. You took the sago and the sugar. Addressing the jailer, why did you, Mr. Meek, report that he has disobeyed you and was trying to commit suicide?
With his head downcast, the jailer remained silent. I thank God that the jailer wrote only the report and refrained from writing the punishment without referring the matter to you.
Superintendent, how is this possible? The jailer is not authorized to give or to record punishment.
Then who has recorded the punishment that I should not be allowed to bring milk from the dairy farm?
Superintendent, this is not punishment. The jailer is authorized to take some action in matters of jail administration.
The jailer can only give his suggestions in administrative matters, but he must take written orders from you to take any action. He cannot write any orders without consulting you. He cannot record any such orders on the history tickets under his own signature. No one has the right to alter the orders given about my food requirements by the Inspector General without consulting the IG. Please examine the whole of my history ticket, right from the days of Multan prison to the present day,
orders about my food have always been recorded either by the superintendent or the medical officers. All these orders were written mostly in my presence. All orders about the permission of allowing me milk or to cook my own food, or even the withdrawal of such permission, has always been recorded and signed either by the superintendent or the medical officer. They generally did so in my presence. Yesterday you canceled the punishment which you had recorded with your own hands. You did not record any new punishment, nor did you give any oral order to this effect. The only verbal order was in connection with the seizure of the slates allowed to us. You did not give any verbal order about the cancellation of the facilities about food given to me.
All these orders about my food were added later by the jailer without your knowledge and without your permission. Instead of complying with your orders to withdraw the slates, he himself went against the orders of his superiors and stopped the milk that I acquired from the dairy farm. So it is the jailer who should be charged with disobedience and insubordination. But you are bringing that charge against me without any grounds whatsoever.
Superintendent, what surprises me is how do you come to know what has happened? How did you come to know that it is the jailer who wrote the orders?
Why worry as to how I come to know? Tell me frankly, is it not correct?
Superintendent, it is no doubt correct, but it is not a punishment. You took it as a punishment, and as a protest, you gave up taking food.
Certainly not. I have done nothing of the sort. I am keeping my religious vow.
Superintendent, addressing the jailer, can you arrange to bring the cow to the cell block?
Jailer, it is difficult. It is possible for a day or two, but it cannot be done every day.
He can certainly do everything if he sincerely desires to do. His real intentions are to put me into trouble. What harm has come from my visits to the dairy farm? No evidence has been given in support of the suspicion that I get news from outside. He has given no arguments and no reasons for disallowing me to go to the dairy farm.
Superintendent, well, Mr. Meek, what harm is there if he is allowed to go to the dairy farm?
Jailer, I do not take any responsibility for it.
This attitude of the jailer made the superintendent helpless. "What can I do now?" said he, and went away, followed by his staff. This was the justice done. What justice can an officer do when he is led by the nose by his subordinates? So the mischievous element that led the superintendent by the nose set the ball of trouble and turmoil rolling, and I took refuge in the moral and spiritual strength of the Lord. The only diet received for a whole month was a little sago boiled in water and mixed with some sugar twice daily. I lost weight considerably. The superintendent and his staff would come on their daily round every day, and finding me absorbed in the silence of meditation and prayer, went away without a word. They did not seem to be in the least worried about me, nor did I care a fig for them. I lived without any desire or expectations from them, while they were devoid of any humane feeling for my fast declining health.
My suffering and sorrow is great, O Lord. Who except Thee can know my agony?
Who else could know the deeper agony of the soul except the true Lord? The divine Guru, the supreme sustainer and healer, gave me all the more ambrosial spiritual sustenance. "Keep me absorbed in Thy love, O Lord," was my only prayer. And then what did I care for anyone else? I did not even require the sago soup, but for people to make believe that I was surviving on this earthly sustenance, it was quite sufficient.
It was God's mysterious way of helping to restrain my diet and concentrate on the contemplation of His light. I wished nothing but to abide by His will. I was happy that God kept my whole being satiated with His divine name. Wherefore any other fear or hope? By the grace of the Guru, I spent a whole month in beatitude of transcendent state. He never allowed my spirit to come to the lower planes. After a month, I suddenly found the door unlocked, but the samadhi in the supreme state remained undisturbed.
I was still absorbed in the bliss of spiritual exaltation. I was not conscious of the people who came there and went away. As I did not take any solid food, there was no question of easing nature. I spent days in samadhi, and no one disturbed me. One day, after a whole month, the superintendent came to my cell. I did not know how long he stood there and what he did. I was told later on that when he came close to me, no one dared to touch me or even to call me loudly and disturb my samadhi. I also was sitting in such state of absorption, tranquility, and grace that I was completely unconscious of my physical surroundings. On seeing the blazing light of His grace on my face, they did not dare to disturb me in my samadhi. After waiting for a long time, they went away.
Those who were present there told me later on that there was a stunning effect on their minds which prevented them even from touching my body. When he came on another round in the evening, I was in my normal consciousness. As soon as he came near me, he took my history ticket in his hands and talked to me in a conciliatory but questioning tone, thus, "Superintendent, well, Randir Singh, would you like to take some good food? If you want milk, we have the same cow ready for you. If you want to cook your own food, we will give you the rations."
I do not seek or beg anything from you. I am your political prisoner and not a beggar that would appeal to you for anything. All desires have ceased to exist for me.
So detached and unconcerned was I, that, seeking nothing, I had gained all in His love. In the radiance of supreme joy and absolute freedom of the spirit, I burst into the following songs. The best light in one's courtyard is the divine light that shines in the heart. The best of all meditations is the contemplation of the name of God. The best of all renunciations is to renounce lust and wrath. The best thing to beg of the Guru is to beg the gift of divine knowledge. The best vigil is to keep awake in the music of the songs of God. The best of all human attachments is to be attached to His lotus feet. Blessed is the soul who has achieved all this. Saith Nanak, he who hath taken refuge in Him finds everything good and delightful. Happy and prosperous is the life of man, who ever lives in contemplation of God. He drinketh the elixir of divine name, which quenches all desires and thirsts. Such a one eateth the bread of contentment and lives in complete satiation and peace. He weareth the garment of honor which covers the shame of his sins. Thereafter he never goes naked. He enjoys the pleasures of spiritual life. Within his own mind and self, he is ever in communion with truth. Without any needle or thread, the mind is thus sown in the love of God. He who is inebriated with the joy of His light is henceforth free from all troubles and sorrows. He gets all life's treasures, who is blessed by the compassionate Lord. Truth, O Nanak, is attained at His feet. One should wash the feet of a saint and drink the nectar of humility.
Some of the important lines from both hymns became the burden of the divine song.
What other reply could I give to the superintendent of jail? The chief warder hinted to me that the superintendent was highly pleased and was ready to offer anything. I burst into another divine song.
My gracious Lord is immensely pleased. Merciful and compassionate is my Lord, who gives all gifts to his creatures. Why are you vexed and worried, O man? The Creator shall ever protect thee. He who has given you life shall also give you sustenance. He who has created the earth taketh care of his creation. The true sustainer and protector abideth in everyone and knoweth all. Great is the Supreme Lord. His powers cannot be evaluated. As long as you have breath, O man, live ever in devotional worship. My being and spirit are thine, O perfect, ineffable, unseen Lord. There is joy and happiness in thy mercy. Nanak ever prayeth for thy grace.
The last two lines became the burden of the song. The superintendent felt flattered when he foolishly thought the word Lord, Sahib, used in the divine song was applied to him. The ignoramus officer did not know that my song was addressed to the one supreme Lord over all, who is the true bestower of gifts and sustenance. He takes care of all his creatures. But this ignorant fool felt so flattered that he said boastfully, "Tell me, Randir Singh, do you want the same cow?"
You want to trap me again in some new plan. I am happy where I am. If I go to the dairy farm, your suspicious mind will again bring in some new allegation. You are easily misled by your mischievous subordinates. After a few days, you will again bring some baseless story to cause me trouble.
Superintendent. All right, then you can at least cook your own food here. Prepare anything you like.
I kept silent. He accepted my silence as acquiescence. Then he ordered the jailer to issue all the rations I was getting earlier. But the medical officer intervened.
Medical officer, we should not give him solid food as yet. He cannot digest it at once. Thus they started giving me rations in small quantities. They increased it every week, and only after a month I started getting the amount of ration which I was getting before. The ration included rice, flour, sugar, potatoes, ghee, and pulses. Iron utensils and stove were also provided. Thus I started cooking my own food and enjoying normal diet. But it was a bit too much for me. I prayed that I might have someone to share it. God was merciful, and I did get some companions to share it. The PWD had started constructing something within the prison. They employed extremely poor laborers. A number of half-starved boys were employed on 2 paisa a day wages. With the whole day's wages, they could not get half a meal. Their bodies were reduced to skeleton. Poverty and hunger could be visibly seen from their famished bodies. I took 1 meal a day and fed all these children with my own hands with the second meal. Even sepoys on duty helped me to invite all the boys who were working in the prison. I shared all the food I prepared with these innocent boys and took only my bit of the share.
These hungry boys ate to their fill. Sadhu Radha Singh and his friends were generally the sepoys on duty. Sadhu Radha Singh taught Gurbani to these boys, and they sang the sabads in melodious tunes. A happy atmosphere was created within the prison. Many boys showed keen inclination to study Gurbani. I still remember one boy whose name was Lukna. Although he was only 10 years old, he was extremely intelligent, and his wit baffled many old heads. He was the first to take up the study of Sikhism seriously.
He even kept long hair and wore turban. Once he fell ill, and while he was lying unconscious with high fever, his hair were removed. When he recovered consciousness, he wept bitterly over the way his hair had been removed. He hesitated to join work in the jail and did not come till he had grown some hair and was able to wear turban.
This young Lukna was so intelligent that as he flit past the prison cells, he would carry messages from one to another prisoner in a matter of minutes without letting anyone become suspicious about his movements. No one suspected his movements. The prisoners loved him because he knew everyone by name and ran errands for all. The prisoners also loved one another very much.
Bhai Sajjan Singh's operation.
One day, Bhai Sajjan Singh, who was lodged in the adjacent cell, started reciting prayer after taking his morning bath. Sadhu Radha Singh, who was on duty as sentry, came and informed me that Bhai Sajjan Singh's finger had been cut, and while he was reciting the prayer, the finger was bleeding. Sadhu Radha Singh was wonderstruck at what he saw. Bhai Sajjan Singh was quite unconscious of his bleeding finger, and his mind was concentrated in the blissful thoughts of the prayer.
"Wonderful is the spiritual poise and achievement of the Sikhs," cried Sadhu Radha Singh. I interrupted Bhai Sajjan Singh's recitation at a point where he had just completed one hymn and asked him, "Well, brother, what is the matter? How did it happen?" "Oh, it is nothing," he replied, and continued the recitation. Sadhu Radha Singh brought to me the fingertip that had been cut away from his hand to show me how serious the matter was. I asked him to attach the fingerpiece to his hand. When he tried to do so, Sajjan Singh refused, saying, "Such is the will of God. You need not worry about it any more. It has remained cut off for a long time." Thus he disobeyed what I asked him to do. Over and above this, he applied oil to the cut end of the finger instead of keeping it clean with water till some medicine was applied. First his hand and then his arm became septic. The swelling spread all over his arm, and the whole arm became an inflated balloon. The matter was at once reported to the hospital.
A new superintendent had just joined the office. He was an expert surgeon from the Indian Medical Service. His name was Dr. Frederick. He also performed the duties of a medical officer. He was known to be a very efficient physician and surgeon. As soon as he examined Bhai Sajjan Singh, he ordered that he should be taken to the hospital. I particularly requested him to make a special effort to treat Bhai Sajjan Singh. Some of us even agreed to accompany Sajjan Singh to nurse him, but Dr. Frederick assured us that he would take good care of Bhai Sajjan Singh. He did not even wait to inquire how the finger was cut because he thought that the inquiry might obstruct or delay immediate treatment that was necessary.
In the evening, the assistant surgeon came and informed me that the condition of Bhai Sajjan Singh's arm had worsened. There was a danger of the infection spreading to the rest of his body. Another surgeon had been invited from the civil hospital for consultation. The whole medical board of expert surgeons had decided that the arm should be amputated. As there was no other way out, the amputation of the arm was likely to take place the next morning.
I sent this sad news to all the comrades. It was decided that early the next morning, everyone would recite Japji 5 times and pray for Bhai Sajjan Singh, which everyone did. After I completed the recitation of Japji 5 times next morning, I felt an inner urge to say the congregational prayer, Ardasa. It was a silent Ardasa, which was performed without informing anyone. I prayed in the Ardasa that Bhai Sajjan Singh's arm may not be amputated, and if he was cured, he would offer Kach Prasad at the Golden Temple as soon as he was released. This was the first time in my life that I performed such an Ardasa. I did it unconsciously. I did not have it in mind even a few minutes earlier, and this is what happened on the other side in the hospital.
The physicians, the saints of God, have gathered together. The treatment is hopeful and effective, because God Himself is a witness to the healing. Lo, the patient is rid of all sins, maladies, and sorrows. Guru Arjan, Punhe.
The doctors were now around Sajan Singh, who lay absorbed in silent prayer, ready for amputating his arm. Dr. Frederick examined the arm, and thinking that Bhai Sajan Singh was asleep, he woke him up, saying, "Wake up, we have to administer chloroform to you." "Why?" asked Sajan Singh. "Because your arm has to be amputated," replied the surgeon. "It is not necessary to keep me under chloroform. You can amputate the arm without it. You will find that I will not move nor complain in the least of pain. Go ahead," said Sajan Singh.
The surgeon was taken aback at the courage and endurance powers of this 20-year-old young man. He wondered what these Sikhs were made of. Even at such a young age, they could look at suffering and pain with such stoic indifference. For a moment, he hesitated to amputate the arm. An idea flashed across his mind. He now decided to try some minor operation by which he could take out the pus out of the abscesses. Some unknown power impelled him to save his arm. It did not strike him before, but now he made an effort to save the arm. As soon as the abscesses were cleared of the pus, the swelling subsided and the laceration began to heal. The joy of the surgeon, Dr. Frederick, knew no bounds. He had given up hope of saving Sajan Singh's arm, but now he felt a miracle had worked. He personally came to dress the wounds. He ordered his assistants to take extraordinary care in nursing his wounds. Happy at the success of his operation, he came to me and said, "Well, Rendir Singh, your companion is perfectly all right now. Do not worry about him. His arm has not been amputated. It is completely healed up."
You have been very kind and generous, and your labors have borne fruit.
Superintendent, no, I did nothing. It was a miracle. I was ready with my instruments to amputate the arm, and just as I was about to do so, something checked me. In a flash came the idea to me that I should try to save his arm, and what struck me suddenly had not occurred to me before. My mind suddenly changed when the young man asked me to perform the operation without the chloroform. The minor operation was performed without the chloroform, and he did not stir in pain even once. He did not even know on which arm the operation was being performed. Even if I had amputated his arm, he would not have felt the pain. It appears he was under the trance of some spiritual inspiration. After giving expression to his feelings in English, he went away. I sat in thanksgiving prayer. I asked him to offer Kharad Prasad at the Golden Temple on behalf of Bhai Sajan Singh.
Dr. Frederick performed his duties very conscientiously and inspired confidence and efficiency in his staff. I have never seen so conscientious a British officer. He himself bandaged the arm of Sajan Singh every day. He ordered one or the other assistant surgeon to be always present to watch Sajan Singh. They had to remain with him for 2 hours by turn. Even at night, his assistants had to be present near the patient. He worked even on Sundays, and every night he came to see Sajan Singh at least once. We expressed our grateful thanks to him for his sympathies in so many words. His relations with the political prisoners were very cordial, but soon Mr. Meek started instigating him against us.
Meeting with Bhai Nirbhai Singh. Bhai Nirbhai Singh, an old friend, came to meet me in 1920 on his way back from Calcutta, where he had gone to attend the Congress session. Unfortunately, we did not get time to talk to each other. Bhai Nirbhai Singh was so overwhelmed with sad emotions that for the 15 minutes of interview permitted, tears rolled down his eyes, uttering a few words now and then with a sorrow-laden heart.
God alone knows why he felt like that. In love-lorn sadness, he wept like a child as he talked a few words. It, however, turned out to be the last meeting between us. Shortly after meeting me for 15 minutes, he died in an accident and left for his heavenly abode forever.
Early in the morning, when he was coming on foot to meet me, he heard someone reciting Gurbani in a sweet and melodious tone. He wondered who could be reciting Gurbani so devotedly in those forests where there was no trace of Sikhism. There was no one residing there except Bihari forest dwellers. There was no Sikh in that region, but someone was reciting the slokas of Guru Tegh Bahadur in a very melodious tune. The singing of the slokas of Guru Tegh Bahadur became clearer as the singer came nearer him. He saw that a sepoy from the prison was coming close to him. From his appearance and gait, he appeared to be a Bihari. He was young, clean-shaven, with a fringe of mustache. He had small, curly hair on his head, and it appeared that he had not trimmed his hair for some time. Over his untrimmed, curly hair, he wore a loose turban. The careless tying of the turban showed that the self-intoxicated wearer was indifferent towards his dress. He was singing the slokas of Guru Tegh Bahadur in a plaintive mood. His eyes were glistening with tears of separation from the beloved. He walked like a moody poet-singer, lost in the deep thoughts of the slokas. His half-closed eyes seemed to concentrate on nothing except the love of the one beloved. His love-lorn eyes were shining with the tears of overwhelming sadness, vairagya, that prepares the mind for serene contemplation. In this vairagya, his eyes were fixed in the deeper concentration of waiting for him.
Fixed are his eyes in intoxication of love, like those of a cat waiting for a rat.
Bhai Nirbhay Singh did not like to disturb the self-absorbed mystic mood of the sepoy, but he was deeply moved by the plaintive and mystic mood of the sepoy. He bowed down to touch his feet, but the sepoy prevented him from touching his feet. He stopped reciting the slokas, and after they had greeted each other with folded hands, Bhai Nirbhay Singh asked, "To which state do you belong, sir?" Sepoy: "Well, sir, I belong to this state of Bihar. I hail from Kesar village in Ara district."
Nirbhay Singh, how did you imbibe the spirit of Sikhism? From where did you learn these slogas?
Sepoy: Here in Hazaribagh prison, some saintly Sikh freedom fighters and patriots have come from Punjab. It is their spiritual influence which has brought this change in me. Actually, God sent these patriots to sow the seeds of Guru Nanak's faith, and we were most fortunate to be blessed with its fruit.
Nirbhay Singh, can you tell me the name of one person out of these saintly prisoners whose association has given you the precious gifts of this spiritual life?
When the sepoy mentioned my name, Brother Nirbhay Singh was overwhelmed and deeply moved. Controlling his emotions, he said, "I have come to meet him. May I know your name, please?"
Sepoy: My name is Kirpa Singh. I am a Kshatriya, but we are good-for-nothing Kshatriyas. The Sikhs of Guru Gobind Singh are the real Kshatriyas. They are very brave saint soldiers. We have been eyewitnesses to their heroic deeds for the past few years, and we have been wonderstruck by their heroic deeds. Their holy living, heroic deeds, and love for truth in word, speech, and deeds had a magnetic influence on us. Blessed art thou that you have come to meet the saint here.
So saying, he tried to touch the feet of Bhai Nirbhay Singh, who embraced him. Kirpa Singh then asked him if he could be of any service to him. "You are our guest from a distant place. Your host is in the prison. It is my duty to look after your comforts and serve you as a host."
Nirbhay Singh,
Your sweet words have given me great joy and comfort. Please give these 2 rupees to Bhai Sahib Randir Singh. This would be a great service rendered to me. You can verbally carry my message to him. Also, please accept this humble gift of 5 rupees for the great service you are already rendering.
Kirpa Singh. God forbid such a thing, sir. The true Guru has given us everything. Please do not put me to shame by making such an offering. I am a bond-slave of the true Lord. Even the saint, Bhai Randir Singh, does not need anything. By the grace of the Guru, he gets everything these days. When he needs anything, then we are ready to offer all we earn and all we have. So please do not worry about sending him any money. As long as we are here, the saint cannot have any difficulties. There is no cause for anyone to put him into difficulties. I will go back to the prison and break the news of your arrival here to the saint. By the way, may I know your name?
Nirbhay Singh. My name is Nirbhay Singh. Please inform the saint that I will meet him soon. I am just now going to put up an application for meeting him. If it is accepted, I will meet him immediately.
After greeting each other, they parted. After about an hour, Nirbhay Singh met me. The meeting with Kirpa Singh reminded him of the days when he was first baptized at Ludhiana. I did not get any news of the outside world in this short meeting of 15 minutes duration. Bhai Nirbhay Singh was melting in tears and sorrow of long separation. As the superintendent was present at the meeting, he hesitated to tell me much about what happened outside. It was hardly a meeting. It was just the last glimpse of a friend who was never to meet me again.
Ever since we had come to Hazaribagh prison, this was our first meeting with an outsider. No relative or friend had been allowed to meet us. In this meeting, the sorrow of separation from friends was once more revived. After the meeting, when I came back to my cell, my brother prisoners shouted from their cells, "What is the latest news from the world of men? Matloka? What is happening there?" All that I had come to know from Bhai Nirbhay Singh was that a resolution of starting non-cooperation movements against the government had been passed at the Calcutta session of the Indian National Congress. After waiting for years for some news from the outside world, this was the only news we got. Even to get this news was a great thing.